Hey, RetconRaider here. As most of you probably know, Snapshot Games generously sent me a copy of the Phoenix Point Prototype 2 gameplay demo a few days ago. I showed off the main scenario in my last video, but I had a few people asking about the second scenario, so I figured I'd go ahead and do a quick video about that one as well. So what is the Phoenix vs. Alien Horde scenario? Well, if you've been keeping up with Unstable Voltage's videos, then you've probably already seen it, but it's basically similar to the Kill the Queen scenario, but instead of a crab queen, there's a wider variety of crabmen to contend with. In many ways, it's actually a bit more challenging than the main scenario, because the crabmen start in concealment, behind these various walls and obstacles, and many of them are equipped with ranged weapons like machine guns, grenade launchers, and even poison spit. That makes this central courtyard area a kill zone. That's taught me to play defensively on this map. There are multiple deployment zones, unlike on the Crab Queen map, and in this case, I generally choose to deploy my men right near full cover. And on the first turn, I focus on getting my guys into positions where they won't have line of sight to the rest of the map, because otherwise the enemies emerge from hiding and immediately open fire, theoretically crippling or even killing your troops on the first turn. As you can see, I've gone with my favored lineup here. I've got one grunt, two heavies, and two snipers. And for the most part, I stick to the same general strategies I used against the Crab Queen. As soon as I see a gunner, I'll use my snipers to try to take out their gun arms. Pretty much anyone else will get mowed down by a stream of bullets or explosives. Speaking of which, it's like a standard Crabman gunner, and I have disabled his head. Not bad. Would have been nice if I had lucked out and taken out his arm, but I guess that would make things a bit too boring. Now I'm going to take a peek out and see what there is to see. 3 crabmen. Looks like a standard gunner, a shielded skirmisher, and that's a tank. That guy's going to be a problem. The tanks are the most heavily armored of the crabmen, and at this range, even my snipers won't be able to do much damage to him. This guy, on the other hand, is an easy target. Flanked, no cover, no armor. He's dead in one shot. Fortunately, I'm far enough away from their tank that his return fire will only do minimal damage. I can target his arm, but I can barely do any damage to him. It's going to take me at least 2 shots to disable his gun arm. Though, if I can manage to do that, he'll be fairly useless, because he'll be so slow it will take him multiple turns to reach me for melee attacks. Though I'm not even sure if he can melee attack me with that shield. I've never seen them try it before. This guy is entrenched, so I'm just going to blow a missile. And if I'm lucky, no. It did take him out, but I was hoping there might be more crabmen hiding behind the cover where I couldn't see them. Bring my other heavy around to this corner, and just put him on Overwatch. That way if any melee fighters start trying to rush across the courtyard, I'll soften them up a bit. There's a third gunman. And then there's a melee troop. Though he didn't walk across my heavy's line of sight, and now he's deployed his shield, so that could be a problem. Oh. That looks like, nice. Very nice. Okay, that is a light skirmisher. He's got a poison-spitting head, a grenade launcher arm I just disabled. Speaking of which, I just disabled another grenade launcher arm. My turn again, so I think I will start off with my snipers, pick off a couple more gun arms, obviously. That skirmisher could be a problem. I'm going to shuffle my sniper away a bit, I think. I'm not sure if this will put me out of his range, but I think it's more important that I disable guns than just run away to a safe location. Especially with this tank over here. Like I said, taking out his gun arm will essentially cripple him. That was the wrong target. There we go. Yeah, Yeah, taking out this guy's gun arm will essentially cripple him for multiple turns, but before I fire on him, gotta see which one of these guys has the better angle on the second guy. Okay, yeah, let's just go ahead and take that guy's gun arm out first. I'll draw a little bit of return fire, no big deal. And now I'll disable the tank's gun arm as well. I think that takes care of all their guns. Alright, now let's see what to do with these guys. Obviously I want to take out these melee guys if I can. Now that guy's shield is a problem, but not if I just drop a missile right on his head. Say, Julian Gollop helpfully pointed out during one of the other live streams that their shields will protect them from explosions if you land the explosion in front of them. But because it's directional cover, you can do full damage by landing the explosive right on top of them or behind them. I'll just rush up and finish this guy off too. And I don't want to risk the chance that there's another Crabman hiding behind cover, so I'm going to use the somewhat expensive gun and run ability to get myself back under full cover. That's 2 willpower points. I may end up having to spend a turn with this grunt, using the recover action to shore his willpower back up. And this guy will come over here, and I'll put him in Overwatch so that he can cover our backs, just in case. Now, these guys have to get closer now. That guy's still got an active grenade launcher, but this tank is mostly useless at this point. And he could reach me. Well, that's unfortunate. And that is even more unfortunate. Well, at least I killed him as a consolation prize, but my sniper's about to drop dead. There he goes. Yeah, those melee attacks are nasty. If I hadn't soaked up some of the earlier cover fire, he would have survived an extra turn or two, but no matter what, that melee attack was pretty much going to take him out of the fight. Okay, so it looks like I've just got 2 targets left now. And with 4 Phoenix Point operatives, I think it's pretty obvious that this battle is all but won. Start softening this guy up. If I can disable another location, he'll bleed to death twice as fast, of course. That other guy, I'm not sure if I can get a line of sight on him. I might just have to move my ranger up and start pegging him with grenades. You can throw grenades over cover and intervening obstacles, so that might be a good opportunity for me to I don't know if I can get close enough. And obviously my rifle's not going to do any significant damage to the tank from this range. Set myself in Overwatch and hope I can pick off the Grenadier when he approaches. Oh right, and of course, now that I've shot this guy with my sniper again, he is going to bleed to death, so I don't even need to disable another body location. Whoops. Well, I knew he had a grenade launcher. I somehow neglected to imagine that he would fire it at me. That disabled my arm, which takes out my rifle, but fortunately I also have grenades, and I can use that with one hand. So, I will return the favor. And now he will die in 1 turn. But I think I might just cut things short and finish him off the old-fashioned way. Yeah, and that was all of them. Well, that was lucky. See, I did record an earlier session where I also won, though I had a couple of casualties. But I didn't end up using that one because the last Crabman ended up panicking and hiding in a corner, and I had to hunt him down for 3 minutes. I decided that was just too boring for me to put into a YouTube video. So that was the second scenario. It's pretty short, but it definitely shows off some more elements of the prototype build. The fact that enemies start off in defensive positions really changes the flow of the game. In the Alien Queen scenario, you have to go on the offensive immediately, but in this scenario, you need to hang back and wait for the enemies to make the first move. And speaking of enemies, let's take a quick look at the crabmen again. This scenario notably uses a broader mix of mutations for the crabmen, and all of these mutations appear in the teaser GIF that Snapshot Games released at the beginning of the campaign. Let's slow the GIF down a bit and take a quick look at the individual mutations. This is a pretty standard crabman. His right arm is a claw, which, as we saw, can inflict some pretty devastating close combat damage. His left arm is a grenade launcher, which I think only has one shot, but it allows the crabman to launch his grenade farther than your grunts can throw them, and he can lob those grenades over cover. He's also got heavy armor plating on his back, which generally means slower movement, but also more health and armor. That makes him harder to kill, especially when it's combined with the shield arm mutation. Now, as I've stated previously, the shield can be deployed as a special action to create directional cover. All attacks coming from that direction will automatically strike the shield arm instead of any other body location. It's interesting to note that there's actually a deploy shield skill icon, though none of the default Phoenix Point operatives have access to it in the demo. It costs 1 will point to use the deploy shield action, and the fact that they gave it a unique skill icon implies that the player might gain access to something like body shields or riot shields in the final game. Next we have these guys, the long-range crabmen with their gun arm mutations. Julian Gollop has stated in past comments and interviews that the crabmen won't start off with this sort of mutation, but that as the campaign progresses and the Pandora virus begins overwhelming human havens, it will begin integrating human-made technology into its mutants. Then there's these guys, the Spitters. Although we didn't get to see it in this video, they can use this mutation to make a basic ranged attack. At the moment it just causes raw damage, but in later versions of the game I assume it will also cause ongoing poison damage. And here we have... well, okay, we didn't actually see any crabmen with all the mutations at once. And honestly, I don't really want to. But given the way the final game is supposed to work, with the Pandora virus mutating its troops to adapt to combat the player's preferred strategies, it seems inevitable that anyone who does too well is going to eventually run into heavily mutated crabmen just like this one. And that's it for now. If you'd like to see more footage from the Alpha Prototype 2 build, or you want to see me try different strategies in the scenarios, just let me know in the comments below and I'll see what I can do. But for now, this is RetconRaider, signing off. Thanks for watching. Oh, and remember, although I do love talking about, and playing, Phoenix Point, you can find out all the latest news about the game on the official website and the crowdfunding campaign page on Fig. Links are in the description.